Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest rally trapping video. In today's video, we will be going over mixed rallies. Basically how to take a mixed rally, what to do, what not to do. We'll go over just some of the basic formations that most mixed rallies are basically sent in. Also, we'll go over what formation you should take them in and what you should watch out for. So, mixed rallies are very complicated because not all mixed rally is the same. There's always a bunch of different formations. Also, what the person who is sending the rally or what formation the person is in when they send the rally will also affect what formation you need to be in to counter that, and you don't always know what formation they're going to be in, so there's always different things. So rule number one, before we get into anything, you need to have your wall broken down. The reason for that is because every second your wall is up, your infantry and cav will not be attacking. So we'll go over some battle replays and you can see that, but keep in mind you need to break your wall if you want to take a mixed rally, or there's a good chance they're going to walk back. Doesn't mean they're going to do more damage to you. It can mean they'll do more damage to you depending on what formation you're in, but it doesn't always mean you'll take more damage, but the chances of them walking back skyrocket exponentially if your wall is up. Like I said, your infantry and cav are not attacking during that time, only your range. And especially if they go infantry formation, that can basically greatly reduce how much damage you're doing. And there's a specific timer for how long battles last. And the more time they can basically not have all your troops attacking, the better chance they're going to walk back, better chance you're going to burn, or just not cap them. So let's go over formations first, because that's one of the most important things to basically get your head around, is the formation of a mixed rally and what's actually going on from the attacking or defending standpoint. So first thing, again, like I said, you need to have all your troops attacking to do damage. Every second your troops are not attacking, that's damage not actually being put out, has a higher chance of them walking back from you. So a lot of the times when I was saying against 424, I would go range foul, and the reason for that is basically where your infantry are. So if you take a look at range wedge is not a good formation against mixed rallies. The reason is your infantry are in the back, and your infantry are actually your slowest troops. So it will take them time to run up and attack. So all the time they're running up, they are not attacking. So you're actually missing out on rounds of attacks, and there's only X amount of rounds to attack in a battle. So if you miss out on one round, that's one whole round of damage you're missing out. That's one round where you might not hit their siege and all of a sudden they walk back. That's pretty much it. Sometimes it only comes down to one round, so it's very important. Same thing with cav foul, another bad formation for mixed rallies. Same thing, just because the infantry's in the back, and the chances of you capping is less when that happens. So now that we got that out of the way, we'll take a look at the other four formations that are are good to take rallies in depending on what the rally is. Again, there's a bunch of different mixed rallies. There's 4-2-4. If you guys don't know what that means, 4-4-2-4. That's all it means. It's 40% this, 20% this, 40% this. So infantry is always first number, range is second number, cav is third number when you're talking about these numbers. And it's just percentage. So in 100K, that's 40,000, 20,000, 40,000. If it's 200K, it's 80,000, 40,000, 80,000. That's sending it out, so that'll be the percentage of the rally. So when I'm talking numbers here, it's just percentage of the rally. So there's other rallies like 6-2-2, which is 60% infantry, 20%, 20%. Or let's say 4-4-2, which is 40% infantry, 40% range, 20% cav. So those are the numbers there. Then there's a bunch of different ones. Sometimes it's like 9-4-7 or which is like 90-40-70 if you guys don't know. And then there's a bunch of other different ones. So we can't go over every single one today. We'll just go over kind of the ideas behind them. So again, we'll go back to formations for defending here. So formations for defending, cav wedge. The benefits for cav wedge is your infantry's up here, your cav's up here, your range is here. It's basically almost an opposite of kind of a infantry formation. Instead of your infantry in the front, it's your cav in the front, but your infantry's here, cavs here. Ranges in the back, just like infantry formation here. So the drawbacks of this one is if anyone ever goes infantry foul, the range will always be attacking until the end, so your cav is going to take a lot of damage. So, and cav wedge, your front line is cav, and if they go infantry foul, the last troops you take out are the range, so they're going to keep attacking your cav. So it can be a bad formation because you're getting full countered for the longest time because of that. That is the only reason why most people don't go cav foul, because a lot of people go infantry foul for actual like rallies. If for whatever reason they go range foul, cav wedge is not too bad. So if you know for whatever reason the person attacking you is going to go range foul for their mix, cav wedge is not bad because you're going to be taking out the range first anyways, and your infantry is going to run up there, your range is going to attack. Once the range is taken out at the start, then they're just attacking you with infantry and cav, and infantry and cav aren't going to do crazy amounts of damage to your cav, so it's an okay formation. The only issue is a lot of people go infantry formation, so cav is usually not a good one to sit in, and like I said, you do not know what formation they're going to hit you in unless you actually have information ahead of time where you've seen them hit one of your guildmates or they hit you before, you know what formation they'd like to go in your mix, then you can kind of decide that. So after that, the next formation is a range formation. This is what most people will be taking mixed rallies in. Keep in mind, if your wall is ever up, never go range foul. It's worse. So if your wall is up for whatever reason, you can't get your guildmates to break your wall, go infantry. It's just better. So range foul here. Again, you don't want to go range wedge because the infantry is in the back. So your range formation will be range foul against mixes. Your cav is in the back, but they're pretty fast. So they get up there very quickly. So you're not missing out as many attacks. Your infantry's here and your range is here, so you'll start attacking pretty quickly on that. If it's ever like a very high infantry, like a 622, you do not want to go range foul for obvious reasons. Is you probably don't want a range front line against a heavy infantry formation. 947 is actually not too bad. The reason for that is you can actually take out quite a bit of their infantry if they're in infantry foul attacking you with 442 or something like that, or 947, before it actually gets to your range. So it's okay to go like 947, 442, any heavy cav one, you obviously want to go range. If it's like 226 or 547 or 9, whatever the heavy cav formation is, go range. If it's ever really heavy infantry, go infantry. If it's ever like 442 or something similar, you can go range as long as your wall is down. And the only issue is if they ever go range foul against you, and that you can get into some issues from that, just because you're going to be starting to take out their range first and then their infantry. So you actually start taking more damage. So if you ever find someone who likes to go 442 and range foul, just don't go range foul because it's not as optimal as, let's say, infantry would be. But infantry is also an issue, but not as much of an issue because the cavs, whatever. If infantry can be an issue if they're in range foul too, because they're cavs in the back and it takes you a long time to take those out. So again, range foul is probably best to go cav wedge. Yeah, so it's very complicated because it depends what they're setting. So the other options for attackers are actually let's go over infantry foul against 442 as well first. So infantry foul, you can see here, or infantry wedge. I've taken them both, and I don't really see much damage difference between the two. So that's up to you at that point. You can test it on your own trap, but from my testing, I don't see much difference between the two formations. This one might have a less chance of walking back just because where the cav and infantry are, and since the range is going to be attacking anyways, it's not as big of a deal. So the other thing is 442 is another one that people get attacked by a lot. If you're getting hit by 442, you definitely want to go infantry formation for that one. Everything else is not very good. Range foul against 442 is bad. Cav foul or cav wedge against 442 is bad. Infantry is probably the best formation that you can actually take a 442 in. Same thing if it's like 6-2-2, we want to go infantry. Cav might be okay, but I find infantry I actually take less depending on what formation they go for again. So again, it really will depend on the formation. So that's the tricky part, is you don't know what formation they're going to be sitting in. But again, most people do sit in infantry for these hits I've seen. If there's ever range, that's where it gets sort of more complicated, just because you probably don't want to be sitting in range for those formations. Cav is very specific to range, so especially, and make sure if you're going to go Cav, it's not a heavy range formation as well. That's kind of it. So if it's like a 4-4-2 and they go range, Cav is pretty good. But you don't know they're going to go range unless you know they're going range. So anyways, again, and it all depends with wall up. So wall up, like I said, is really bad because what happens, especially if you're in range foul, is their troops run all the way up to your wall and then the battle starts. So they're right in front of your range to start off, and that's never a good thing. And your other troops are still sitting back here, so it's not a good thing. That's why if your wall is down, you can start attacking. Your troops can run up and attack their troops and hopefully take them out before that happens. Especially if they're an infantry foul, you can almost take out most of their infantry before they even get to your range in that situation. So range ends up being a good formation against a infantry formation like that, just because you took out their infantry before they got to you anyways. So again, let's look at some battle replays, and you'll kind of see that a little bit. Actually, where was a good one? I burned actually offline. This is a good situation. So this was last KVK. I was offline. My guildmates were in another kingdom, and so I got online after the rally hit. So basically none of the stuff you're supposed to do happened. So first thing was, I was sitting in range wedge. Didn't want to do that. Secondly, my wall was up. So my wall was up, sitting in range wedge. They ended up getting a siege walk back. This is a perfect situation of what not to do. Keep in mind, if you're offline, you don't really have a choice, do you? And also, I wasn't in gear. I was sitting in construction gear. So I might have also been not in talents. No, I was in talents. Maybe. Anyways, again, I had like 50 million troops, so I didn't take too much damage, but again, I ended up burning here. They walked back. So this is a good situation to show you what not to do. So again, range wedge here. Let's watch it out. So can I pause it? Okay, so before we get into the battle, again, my wall is up. Their troops are going to run up to my wall and attack it, and then the battle will start. My troops will be still sitting back there, not doing anything, except for my range, who is attacking their infantry. So again, this is the situation I'm talking about, where you do not want to have your wall up. So again, the only thing that's going to happen is my range are going to attack their infantry, which is not good because they don't do much damage. They do break my wall pretty quickly. Thankfully, I got a small wall, so it's not the worst thing. But see, look where my infantry are. So the battle's already started. They're all attacking, and my infantry is still sitting back here. Let's see when they actually start attacking. Right about now. So this is when they start attacking. So I've already lost like 30% of my morale. They've lost 300k troops already. I've already lost maybe 1 or 2 rounds of infantry attacks because of that. Actually, there's one, I lose a whole round actually because my wall is up. And then I lose a round of attacks from my cav and infantry. So I lost a round of attacks from my cav and infantry from my wall being up. My range is obviously attacking the whole time, so that's not okay. Then I lose an additional 1 or 2 rounds of attacking because my infantry is way in the back. So they're missing 3+ rounds of attacks because of that. My cav is at least missing 1 round because of the wall up. So that's what happens. Again, I don't have my war gear on, but that's a whole other story. I might have been able to cap it with my war gear on, but that's just based on how many troops I have and having high attack at that point. But at this point, again, we'll watch the whole thing just so you can see what happens, and then why those couple rounds of attacks mean a lot. Because guess what? I'm gonna basically take out the range, and I think the battle literally ends right after I take out the range. Nope, yeah, like basically a second after. So right, like a second after I take out their range, the battle ends. Those 3 rounds of attacks could have been the rounds that were actually basically taking out things a lot sooner, and then my siege could have took out their siege, or my troops could have run up and actually hit them, or anything like that kind of thing. That's what happened. So again, I didn't take a ton of damage, but that's just because I I have a lot of troops. So it sort of took out the troops fast enough. It's just I was losing rounds of attacks, which means I don't cap them and I burn. So that's pretty much it. Also, yeah. What's another one? I don't know if I can watch these other ones. This one's already... I can't watch this one. But actually, one second. I'm going to switch over my other account. I have some battle reports I can actually show you on that one instead. Okay, so we're back on my other account now. This is starting. Good. Okay. So this one is a report from Pan. He actually hit me like 5 or 6 times. So this is one of the first ones, or last ones he actually hit me with. This was a 2.6 mil rally. This was a 424, I believe he hit me with. Yeah, 424. My wall was actually up for this one because I didn't have any guildmates to knock it down. So it's not a good formation. Keep in mind, if you're ever in the situation and online, you want to go infantry foul. I did put my war gear on for this one, so I was able to get that on. So we'll take a look at the battle report. He's in range foul doing a 424. So the best formation technically is either, infantry or cav, depending on the situation. In this situation, I decided to go infantry because my wall was up. It's just the safest one to do against a mixed rally. So let's take a look at the battle. So in this situation, like I said, wall is up. So again, they're gonna hit my wall here and then have to break it down. My range is attacking, but since he's in range formation, it's not as bad since my range are doing damage to his range. My infantry and cav will start running up. It looks like even though he's in range, you can see that the first formation they take out is not his range. So if I was in cav in this situation, this would not be good because my cav would be getting hit. That's why infantry is better, because even though he's in range, I'm actually not attacking his range first. Again, this count's really strong, so ignore some of the damages and pack 5s and all that flying around, but it's the same kind of formation that we're talking about. So range infantry formation with your wall up is better because, again, it's just the best formation. Even if they go range in this situation, it's not too bad because you actually take out their cav and infantry before their range, so your infantry is actually just getting hit by their range the longest. That's why cav in this situation might not be the best, because guess what? The range will be attacking your cav the whole time. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So we'll keep going. Again, we take it out, and since my infantry and cav were up at the front, they ran out, didn't miss too many attacks from that, and was able to take out their whole squad. So we'll go back after here. I was able to cap that one. That was a 2.6. This one I had my war gear on, so that's why I didn't take very much damage. The other next ones we'll look at is kind of the difference between infantry wedge and infantry foul. So this is infantry foul against infantry foul. What did he go on this one? He went, like a 622, like a high infantry range cav. So again, in this situation, you want to go infantry foul for this one, or infantry wedge. We'll show you the 2 battle reports, but they're really similar. Keep in mind for these ones, you can see how I'm taking 2.1. It's because I'm taking it in my food gear. I'm not putting my war gear on for any of these attacks. So ignore the amount of damage I take compared to the last rally, because the last rally I had my war gear on, which is like mythic champ. So this one is food gear. So ignoring that, you can see just everything kind of comes up and hits their front line all at once here, and they start attacking. All that stuff goes off. You can see they kind of came up at the same time. My wall was already down, so there's no delay in my troops running up or anything like that. So this is infantry foul, I believe I took this one in. And then we'll go look at the infantry wedge after that. So there's not really much difference going on here because the troops kind of meet up at the same time, and you're not really missing out on any attacks. And then at the end, we run up and attack their range. And again, you don't want to be in cav for this because our range is attacking the most. And again, you don't want to be in range formation either because they're super heavy infantry on this one. So, okay, let's go. Then there's range infantry wedge. Let's see. Infantry wedge. I think it's this similar, same attack. Yeah. Maybe just a little less tier 5 in this one, but whatever. Infantry wedge, same attacker, it's Pan. 2-piece Emperor guy. But yeah, I haven't posted these videos yet. You get to see these later, but anyways. He hit me 5 times or 6 times. It was pretty much every single day too. So again, same thing. You can see the difference here. There's really not much difference. Your cav kind of shows up a little bit later in infantry wedge. That's the main difference. So maybe infantry foul is a little bit better in this situation because your cav is taking a little bit longer to show up. But it's a very minuscule damage difference. So you're probably missing out on a round of cav attacks for the difference between going infantry wedge and infantry foul in this situation. So yeah, so maybe infantry foul is just a little bit better than infantry wedge, but it's not that much worse. So, and then yeah, I was able to take it up pretty easily on this one too. So so in the conclusion here, we should probably go over the formations one last time. So 4-2-4, you're probably, if your wall is up, you want to go infantry foul. If your wall is down, range foul is okay, and infantry foul is the same thing. Wedge is very similar to infantry foul, maybe just a tad bit worse for that, just based on where the troops are sitting. But it really depends. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then 4-4-2. 4-4-2, you probably want to go infantry formation for 4-4-2s. Any heavy cav formation, you want to go range foul. And cav is just, it's not the best, because as you can see, even if they go 4-2-4 in range, a lot of times their range is still in the back, because you, for whatever reason, your troops run up and hit their infantry because they meet in the middle there. So that's kind of what happens there. And I'm not sure if it's because my wall was up or not. I don't have another situation, but yeah. So for mixed rallies, mostly want to go range or infantry. And if your wall is ever up, just go infantry. And if it's ever high cav, go range. It's pretty simple. There's not much more to say, and it really depends, like I said, what formation they're going to go. It might change the battle a little bit there, because again, if they go range foul and 4-2-4, you probably don't want to be sitting in range for that one. But yeah, for that one. So and again, just always break your wall. So if you're ever having problems capping mixed rallies and stuff like that, probably the best thing to do for that situation is actually just add more troops, add more tier 4. You just need more damage in there and all that. So it's not like a magic bullet for any mix. It's just what you want to be in and what you don't want to be in for those attacks. That's pretty much it. And again, if you're still confused on all this, don't worry. It's not like the easiest thing to grasp unless you're like high into the game and you kind of know like the kind of mechanics of how everything works. And you kind of just got to look at the formations, look at your battle replays, then kind of go from there and see what you're missing and all that. So, and again, just adding more troops helps a lot. Trust me, like just add more troops. Tier 4, tier 5. That's where most of your damage is going to come from. Tier 2, you can add some more too, but it's not going to do as much damage as that. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Like I said, if you have any more questions, put them in the comments down below. I'm trying to help you guys out with this, but I'm not sure if I'm going like too in depth and kind of going over people's heads or not on this. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.